Hey everybody, it's Keith with Bob CNC. Welcome to Shop Talk. And I'm here, of course, with Robert Wood, my best friend.
And I'm here with Keith, my best friend.
And we're talking about the anatomy of a CNC.
Absolutely.
And today, we're going to talk about rails.
Yeah. So rails are really what kind of allows
They make it move.
Allow your machine to move.
Right.
But they keep it in the right position. So if it was really sloppy, then you wouldn't be able to really do anything, right? So the whole idea of a rail system is to allow you to have movement without losing any of your precision or losing the position that you want to be in. So there's really there's really three types of rail styles, and then there's different ways that you can implement those. So the first one would be a simply supported beam, is what they call it back in school. But it's really where you just have a beam and it's supported on each end. Very simple, right? Here and here. So it could bow in the middle, but theoretically, if it was strong enough or had the right geometry or whatever you would do, then you would be able to reduce your deflection and you'd be okay. Okay, so that's simply supported, just something, a support on each end. And then you have, they call supported, which you would think, okay, well that's pretty simple, it's supported. But what they mean by that, it's supported along the way. So it could be supported a little bit, a lot, but if you just took a simply supported beam and put one support in the middle, you would just call that a supported. And then of course the last one would be fully supported, which would mean that it would have something attached to it to help it be supported the whole length of the rail. So when you're looking at a CNC system, you're going to want to understand that, is it a simply supported rail system? If it is, you want those rails to be big in diameter. Doesn't matter if they're made out of titanium. They need to be big in diameter because that's going to give you the most rigidity, I guess, right, for the length, right? And also, if somebody's selling you one that's simply supported and it's 8 feet long, it's got 3/4 inch, yeah, it's probably not going to work. You're going to have too much deflection. And you can see that. I mean, if you took a steel rod, you know that you can bow it, right? Whereas the bigger it is. So, but for the most part, I would say you probably want to stay away from a simply supported system. So the next one would be that supported. So it's supported every 3 or 4 inches or every 6 or 8 inches. Doesn't really matter, but there had to be some engineering involved there to make sure that you understood the deflection. So our Evolution series is supported that way. Our KL7 series is supported that way. So that's another method that you can do that. And then there's the fully supported, which means that your rail system basically is held to something rigid the entire length, right? So your machines that have the linear rails systems on it, they can be fully supported. They can also be simply supported, so not to get confused. So if you're looking at a system, let's just go through maybe the common types. And again, as soon as I try to define those, somebody will come up with something clever and it'll be something different. But so one type that you'll find in some of the less expensive machines are plastic wheels on aluminum extrusions, right? So you can adjust those wheels and they'll be like at a V shape so that they fit inside the aluminum extrusion. And now you can hold it snug up against that aluminum extrusion, and that extrusion is the same, for 3 or 4 feet, so therefore it's fully supported, right, on those wheels. Our system, we actually use the metal wheels and a steel rod that's supported, so that we have a metal wheel on a metal rod. And again, that's another way of doing that. Those are probably the 2 most popular ways of doing things in the less expensive CNC machines. Now, when you get to the more expensive CNC machines, you're going to start talking linear rails and linear bearings. So there's really 2 types of those in general. You have one that's just round. Now, it can be simply supported, right? So you have just a linear bearing that goes over that, and I'll explain what I mean by that in just a second. Or you can have one that has a mount, and then it has a linear bearing that's got a slot in it so that it can make room for that mount and be fully supported. And then, of course, probably the most popular that you'll see out there for the larger machines is a square linear rail with a square bearing. And the reason those are more popular is because for the size they can actually hold more force or weight and without the deflection. So what is a linear bearing? So it's a rail, it's ground really precise. I mean, we're talking microns here. and then you have a bearing block that actually has bearings in it that they just kind of roll, but they kind of roll on a track, or not really track or groove, but they just kind of roll as it slides linearly. So whereas a round bearing, it's intuitive where the bearings are in there, you you have the inside and the outside and the bearings in between. Same thing. The disadvantage or disadvantage of a linear bearing is if you lose any of the bearings, then they don't work worth a hoot, right? Because they actually lock themselves up. So if you have a linear bearing system, or you're going to purchase this for a CNC that you're going to make, or it's the one that comes with it, be very careful with those as you're sliding them onto the rails. As a matter of fact, if you get them on the rails, don't take them off, right? And some machines will come with them actually on the rails. You don't want to see how cool it is and take that off, because some of your older system, the balls will actually fall out. And they're
You've done that.
Yeah, I know from experience, sure. Yeah, so if you're looking for a machine that's going to cut steel or maybe aluminum, you're going to want something. If you're going to try to get really good cuts, you're going to want something with a fully supported, right? And also probably the linear bearing would be the way that I would go. If you're cutting wood and plastics, then really and truly, I'd still stay away from simply supported unless you want to do the math. I mean, it's not hard. You can just go out there and figure out the geometry. There's tables and charts online, and you would understand that if my bit could push up 5 pounds, it would deflect. Oh, it's only a 32nd of an inch. I can live with that. Then you're fine. But if you don't want to do that math, you don't understand that, I would definitely go with a supported or a fully supported system.
All right, well, guys, if you have any questions about rail systems, if you have any questions about the products we sell, you can get a hold of us at the help desk.
Help desk would work,
Well,
or info at bobcnc.com.
That too.
Or shop talk at bobcnc.
Or is there anything else?
I forgot at bobcnc.com.
Or you can get a hold of Keith at bobcnc.com.
That would work too, yeah.
Right, good luck. Anyway, till
See you
next
guys.
time, guys, we'll see you.